just about to kick off. Now, quick prediction, Itsu. Who do you think would win match 1 in this?
Oh my goodness. Even though we have the first attack live, I will just go for J.X.Tiger because they impressed me so much. But at the same time, I think it's a really even one.
Yeah, I think J.X.Tiger could come in really strong, especially knowing that, the 2020 champs here, they are in the position of having just a little less time to plan coming in, hitting first. Now, we do send in the blimp. That we've got the minions coming out, the super minion blimp cloned up, ready to go, clearing out a beautiful path. And this is such a nice range to pick up the town hall and those surrounding defenses. This is a nice, strong start for Ast.
Wow, this is just insane. So far, we have seen this type of blimp quite a few times during the World Championship from Tribe Gaming, but they used that kind of during the attack, right, from the back of the Town Hall, and not as an entry, but just the pathing which he created, and we know how strong those Super Dragons are. This is already looking incredible for the World Champions from 2020. Ast is pushing his Super Dragons through all of this with his Queen and the King pushing everything back into the core.
Yeah, and we need that King taking the lead here because we've got to force along into that multi-compartment and just get the pathing cutting through between both multis and straight up towards that scatter shot. We still want this firepower, but we've got some heavy hitting action from these Super Dragons. But I noticed that this minion's still up top, actually doing a little bit of more cleanup work. Not that these dragons necessarily need it, because we often see these not really coming quite down to time fails. And it's yet to use the Warden ability in this one so far.
Yeah, ward ability unused, and he just deployed the Royal Champion. Let's see if he's really trying to swag any of that, but it looks crushed anyways. Ward ability is getting used. We know the World Champions, right? The approach for most of those teams is kind of try to swag as much as possible, but most of the time those teams are really trying to speed things up because they know time is a factor. And as I'm saying this, he is not using the Queen ability or Royal Champion ability, so I guess maybe he wants to swag a little bit as well.
Yeah, I've said it before, Ast when it comes to Super Dragons is just an absolute master and genius at this. Pure perfection. And Super Dragons are something that we've seen, they are a very powerful troop, but I'm honestly convinced that in the right hands, that's where the power really shows. Noobs like me, where, I'm not as well versed with the use of dragons all the time.
Kind of impressed me, to be honest. So I think that looked really, really, really strong. But we have the first attack from J.X.Tiger coming in as well. And we have Super Dragons coming in as well. It seems like those players really like the Super Dragons, the new toy, which they got with this last update. But there's a NATO trap, and this could mess up things quite bad, depending on how long this NATO trap is rotating.
Oh, yes, and it's rotating quite a bit for now, keeping those sneaky goblins, pulling a couple to the storages, but a few actually make it enough, and they're able to take down the town hall. So we've got a safe opener now for J.X.Tiger for the 2021 World Champions. And this, again, off to a great start. When you get that successful, not only takedown of the town hall, but that sectioning off, this is exactly where you need to go. So now it's all about shaping up the rest of the funnel for these drags and getting those heroes down to keep them pushing along.
That's right. The pathing again looks really, really good. The only thing which might be a problem is kind of this single phone tower connection to the expo. So things might split over there, but we have to see, and we actually have to wait for him to yet start with the main push. Now the first couple of test loons are coming in. If there's any black mines on the outside, more loons are coming in, and the Super Dragons are now supposed to take over, with the King still getting delayed so far.
Yeah, this has been a pretty long opener, a lot longer than we often see with these attacks, but this is Vic, of course, and Vic is probably one of the most OP players now known in the world, so I'm not holding too much that he wouldn't be able to turn this around and get it done. Beautiful path here from the Dragons, even one working just on his lonesome on the top side of the base, actually is going to help this out quite a bit, taking care of the cleanup, especially since Dragons typically tend to move quite a bit slower here.
Yeah, and they split quite a bit. As you said, this air defense at the top side though is going down, which is huge. But still, there is Expo, Scattershot, and the Tesla Farm on this back end, which could still cause some problems. But with all of those spells, which he still has left, like he has one Rage, which he's going to use now for his heroes, a Freeze, an Invisibility spell, and we know how powerful those heroes are, especially the Royal Champion. If single phone towers are not a threat, if the Barbarian Kings are on the back end, now we have to take a look at this Royal Champion. There's the first Freeze coming in, and he needs to protect that Royal Champion, and then things are looking good.
Yeah, definitely needs to keep her going as long as possible, but there's really not much of consequence here. We don't have the single targeting Inferno. We don't have the scatter shots to worry about. It's just that Expo that really does quite a bit of damage here, and we need to sneak something in to get to it. But the Royal Champ has done just about as much as he could possibly hope out of her. It's all up to the Queen, but we are still looking at the time as a factor here with only 20 seconds left to go. And again, that opener was just so long-winded that this may not have enough opportunity. It's not going to have enough opportunity to get this done, Itsu.
Yeah, that's right. This one Expo we were talking about in the beginning, staying up and causing this huge split with the Single Inferno Tower was a big problem for this push. And then he took his time to take down the Town Hall, took his time to take down the Clan Castle. And even though those Super Dragon or Dragon attacks in general are kind of quick, it was not quick enough to get him this 3-star. Yes, it's great at this point, of course, but at the same time, they know that this is only the first out of, I don't know, 5 attacks or like 10 attacks in general. So nothing is done yet, and you can throw those leads really easily and really quickly. So they need to make sure that they keep delivering. And I think we have seen that in the World Championship as well for them, where they had the lead and then lost it with a couple of percentages. So still need to make sure that they keep concentrating, and Musk is the next attacker. We all know how good he is, but he was falling short just a little bit during the World Championship, so he knows he wants to like prove again that he is one of the best players, which we know, but he obviously wants to prove that to everyone.
Absolutely. Mask was a pretty critical part through most of 2021, getting his team through many victories. So, you know, a couple slip-ups here and there, he can't keep holding against himself on that one. Let's see if he can build that confidence up today and follow up with a beautiful performance after Ast. Coming in with this Queen Charge Drag Rider, we've got a beautiful entry sweeping across to get into the scatter shot, King to take down the Eagle, but we still need to get to that Town Hall. We do have the jump that can help lead us there, and the Queen's already set her path. Actually pretty nice to avoid having to go through that poison bomb.
Yeah, that's for sure. Using that poison now to take down the Clan Castle. There are witches actually in there, surprisingly, to make sure, I don't know, maybe get the life of those Super Dragons lower just a little bit. And now we have the Dragon Rider starting on this right side. He's really nicely splitting them, dropping a couple of them on the other fence, a couple of them on the outside, and the Slammer on the outside, even further at the top, to make sure that this Slammer is pushing everything through the core. The Queen, though, there's a lot of damage. He needs to make sure that he's not losing that Queen. Otherwise, this could be a 1-star, and this is definitely not what he tries to go for.
No, he does have the invisibility spell, though. Drops that down, keeps the Queen alive, keeps those healers safe and secured here, and can continue to carry on now with this raid. No risk of the 1-star, but he still wants to follow up with the triple. With the Royal Champ's ability, though, here, he's in a really good spot. Again, we're seeing a position where we have no major defenses on the back end, no scatter shots, no singles, so the Royal Champ is everything to finish this up.
Yeah, and it's 40 seconds left. This is like the classic Musk attack, which we like to see. Even remembering to bring the back and Warbreaker to make this attack look even more OP. This is what we used to see from him. So you don't want to fall behind too early. So best bases early, best bases in ASAP to make sure that you're getting a lead and some pressure on the other team. While we have the next attack in, and that's a Blizzard with a Lalo. So it seems like both teams are starting things off with the Super Dragon attack and then following up with the more complex strategies like the Queen Charge Dragon Rider or the Blizzard Lalo.
Yeah, and we've got Kyung Ren coming in here with a beautiful opener. We've got the kind of the Blizz, but a couple sneaky goblins in as well to help take down that Town Hall and also use those Super Wizards to secure some of the surrounding defenses. So this is some nice big value within not only taking down the Town Hall, but really clearing out this path, and helps out the heroes quite a bit. No defending Queen to actually worry about, so the King and Queen can get a lot more power in this one.
Yeah, and so far things are looking good. There's the next wall break where he tries to get even further into the next LA to get maybe even the multi-inferno tower. So far it looks good. The Royal Champion for creating the pathing, because his Lalo is going to start at this top right side. It's in the back of the sweeper, and he's going to get that Royal Champion first, not having to worry about the defending King at this point. Lalo has started. A lot of multitasking is usually caught. Take a look at the right side. The Royal Champion is targeted by the Single Inferno Tower, and there's the freeze which had to be coming down.
Yeah, so freeze and we've got nice haste pulling everything through, getting those loons straight up into the scattershot chamber, and look at those headhunters clip through the haste, getting right on top of the defending heroes quickly. This is very efficient coming in from Kyung Ren, and we do see the minions. This is what you always want to do. Get those minions down as the defenses are cleared up as fast as possible so you don't worry about any time fail issues, but it doesn't look that this would ever have that in any possibility.
Lalo attacks are just something wonderful. They're looking so impressive always. And the most annoying thing to me is they always look so easy. So when you try them, like you have watched a pro match, let's say that, and you saw, okay, everyone using Lalo, it looks super easy. The next attack, which is Vale actually, and he is coming in with a quick charge Lalo. To be honest, I don't think I have. Have you seen Vale in the last couple of weeks or even month do a queen charge Lalo?
I have not, actually. I've seen him using more dragons, which is really nice because he's always one of my favorite drag attackers to watch. But yeah, I mean, he was known for his Zapquake Lalos back during the 2020 World Championships, of course, and a stellar Lalo attacker. So I'm sure we're in for a treat as he gets his queen charging along, king along the outside edge of the base. But we've got so many wall breakers, not only to break this queen through, but we could set up a pretty nice path to get that king just a little bit deeper inside. And there we go, right towards the eagle compartment.
Wow, this wall break is so good. Like, I mean, I feel like wall breaks are something which is such an like so many people don't know how to wall break, and knowing where exactly your wall breaks are going is such an important knowledge part about the game. And seeing wall breaks like this is always so cool because this wall break was awesome, making sure that he knows the wall break is going to target this builder hut. And now the queen is inside the core of the space. Not too many expos. He still has 2 more rages to place to keep powering up his queen. And take a look, where is that base gone? Like, this queen can reach everything, and this base is just slowly disappearing.
It really is, and we've yet to even set the Lalo into place, finally getting this going. But first, lining up the Stone Slammer here just from the outside edge, and that will work its way along towards the inner side of the base ring here, where we expect to see the majority of the traps cropping up. So I do like this position, nice, strong, powerful spot. But as the loons approach, look at this, the queen still taking on the damage of the scattershot incoming, giving the loons a lot of reprieve.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of more spells. He even saved a couple of those loons for the back end to make sure those archer towers are getting sniped. He has over 1 minute left. Vale, this queen charge was actually insane. Saving a jump spell. I think a lot of people would have used the jump spell over there. Instead, getting this really nice wall break in and completely like making this base disappear. The queen from the core reached everything. The Lalo was just clean up. This was a beautiful attack.
Absolutely stunning. And so much so he was able to swag that invisibility spell here. Not even needed to be used, but
also ever coming in. And we have the next attacker coming in, and that's going to be another Queen Charge Dragon Rider attack actually, with a Yeti for funneling. So let's see how good this is going to work, because this strategy was the strategy of the World Championship in 2021. Me included, I thought Lala would be stronger, would be used more, but those pros really love to use those Dragon Riders. But right now he's having kind of some problems with funneling this bottom side to get the queen inside the tunnel compartment.
Yeah, now we still do have this opening in the wall to kind of wrap her around and keep her through, but we need to ensure that there is zero distraction coming in, and it looks like it's shaped up nice enough to get her working through. And this, of course, is Chishin, who, you know, I like exactly as you said, these drag riders are something that we got to see coming in from the team quite a bit of, and I think what they've really done is shown that despite the nerf that we had, and I say quote unquote nerf, because they can still be used so powerfully. Let's see if the 2021 champs can keep this going. But beautiful invisibility spell. We talked about it in the last raid where you could use it, but this is another way just to keep the queen focused. Keep your troops, keep your heroes on target, and he ensures that the queen does take down the town hall.
Yeah, now he's sending in his king and his royal gem from this bottom side, but at the same time though, there is so much damage. The skeleton trap is coming up as well. He's investing the headhunter to take down the defending royal champion quicker, but he really needs to get this expo out of the way. Now deciding to start the dragon riders from the same angle as well, because he sees, okay, his heroes won't get as much as he was hoping for, so instead he has to send in those dragon riders. He has still the slammer now deployed on this right side to push those dragon riders even further into the base, and the queen is choosing a really smart wall, being able to reach that scatter.
That's some 200 IQ coming from the queen that we don't often always expect to get to see here. Now, with that Stone Slimer opening up, we have a little extra power coming through with the added Dragon Rider that comes out of it. And of course, the loons that can take a little bit more of the lead to pick up any possible traps along the way. There we go. Already starting to pick up a few here. And the queen, still with her ability intact, trying to focus on that multi-targeting Inferno just to keep the healers alive, but not wasting it anymore. Just going through the ability and saving it for the final back end of this raid.
Yeah, Dragon Riders are pushing through. The one air defense, though, could be a big problem. We know Dragon Riders are quite tanky, but air defense as well, if they have the chance of having a couple of 3 seconds, can take down quite a few of them. The first Dragon Rider is falling, and the other one do not have too many. They have decent hit points, so as long as there's not too many Black Mines, but as well, ADB, the time is ticking.
It really is. And this last freeze used for the final air defense and the splash damage coming in from the Wizard Tower. He wants to make sure that he has every bit of power needed to try and get the stun, but it is time that is going to cost them yet again. And this is going to keep them back now. 2 stars. This is a tough start for J.X.Tiger.
Boom is coming in, the team captain of the team. And he is coming in with a really nice Lalo attack, bringing some lightnings into the mix as well.
Yeah, and J.X.Tiger is sitting back right now, waiting to see if their defenses can show through, because there's still a possibility. They've got this 95 and 94% riding on their side, so that does put some pressure onto to our 2020 world champions to perform here, because any slip-ups that are too big could cost them in these next 2 attacks. And boom, we know he loves his Blizz Lalo, but switching it up a little bit with Zapquake opens up beautiful pathing here. We're going to get so much out of these heroes. Queen wrapping around the opposite side of the base from the king, working her way up towards that town hall, but we are going to need to set that Lalo or the Stone Slimer in place to really take this down.
Yeah, the queen is taking down maybe the town hall. Let's see, the unicorn is keeping her alive, and the town hall is going down. It was close, but the town hall going down was super clutch, because now we can get started with this ladder from the other side, putting a lot of loons into this Tesla farm, and this means there is only 6 loons left for this backhand. Is this going to be enough to power this through?
Yeah, that was a bit risky on that queen. That could have cost quite a bit if the queen hadn't taken it down. But look at the position of this Stone Slammer coming in again into the core of the base. We see these damage zones quite a bit to try and throw the loons off, where we have a lot of the traps, knock them out, especially when we have the multis in the core. But he handles this very nicely, clipping those loons and the Stone Slammer in that Warden's aura, and just absolutely dominates over with his Lalo.
Yeah, I mean, we know how good Boom is with Lalo, and him showing that is always a really nice thing. Poison now for the lava pups, exactly. And this means with 1 minute left, this shouldn't be any problem. The owls even taking down the last remaining lava pups, and the storages are not going to have a chance of fighting back. This means alternate or keep doing what they're doing. The 2020 world champions are showing off that they're really, really good still. And yeah, it was just maybe them having a bad day or having unfortunate defenses or something, because this is looking like a really good demonstration of their skill. We had so many stats for them, like so many attack and defensive stats, that it was way easier to prepare against those teams. So this was a huge, huge bonus for them as well. If intended or not, it was a really smart move. And now it is going to be tricky, especially with most of those teams knowing their tendencies and especially have learned from their bases, because the base bidding was just on a complete different level in this World Championship.
Absolutely. Now we do have Joan coming in, the team captain for the 2021 champions, and he wants to keep the momentum going for his team, going for himself. We still have one final attack left to go, and you know what? I like to keep hope alive that there could be just a 1-star defense. Even though you can try and go for a safe 2-star, if they were to get a 1-star defense, pick up the triples on their next attacks, they could potentially turn around this war. So it isn't over yet. Every 3-star matters here, and they need to make sure that they get these wins over anything else. So coming in, pulling that CC to the outside edge for the Queen. It's a nice position because it keeps her out of harm's way, so she comes into this heavy damage area nice and refreshed with a beautiful tank of this Ice Golem and the King and Royal Champion to help out.
Yeah, the Royal Champ now supposed to go into that compartment as well. The Queen perfectly getting pathed into this multi-inferno tower setup to make sure then the Lalo is getting used later. And it's again like this mix, which I'm still surprised no one else caught up to, because it always looks so strong. This mix in between of Lalo and the Dragon Riders, which I'm so fascinated about. So let's see how this is going to work, and if we can show off again that this strategy is just insane. And I still don't know why no one is using it.
Yeah, it's not very often that we get to see this, but we still have the Drag Riders that are something that a lot of the players really like. So seeing a hybrid mix of it is really awesome. And maybe this is going to inspire many Clashers out there to start trying it out a bit more. Great value with the heroes so far, shaping this up nicely with the Drag Riders on that pocket area to take down the Eagle as a Lalo sweeps through in a pretty wide path. But the damage that these Drag Riders have done really helped to try and secure some of the back end of the base. But this pathing is quite a bit too wide. With the multi not going down, there's really not a lot of hope left now.
Yeah, now everything is relying on those Dragon Riders, which is not going to be easy for them, especially with the Air Expo, the Warden, everything shooting. So this is not easy, and it's looking like the next defense. So yeah, Alternate really showing off, showing that defense is still a thing and still a really strong tool to win and cause a lot of problems for the other team.
Yeah, you know, with ATN during the World Championships this past year in 2021, you know, I partially wonder if there were some decisions made as far as what bases they were going to run and saving some heavier, bigger defensive bases for the end of their wars, where maybe that's what we're exactly seeing now, because to be able to hold off the reigning champs, 2021 World Championships, the way they're doing in this war speaks loads, but equally, J.X.Tiger absolutely performing. We've got, despite not hitting all the marks here, some really nice high percentages, and of course, some stunning
Next attack now for Alternate. The question is if they can get this perfect war, because so far they are 4 out of 4. Now the last attacker, Jojo, is coming in, and he is coming in, why we call him Lalo 23.
Yeah, and you know, I was actually going to ask you, what do you think? Do you think we're going to get the perfect war? And in chat, I want to hear the viewers. Do you think we're going to see this ATN trying to kick this war off despite being knocked out during the 2021 World Championships in the first round? It looks like they're just going for a little redemption here. Do you think they can do it? Perfect war, yes or no, as Yo-Yo comes in. And we do have a little bit more Lalo action. Queen wrapping her way around to help pick up this Town Hall. Really nice funneling and shape up to get her going through. And of course, we've got those Skellies to help distract a lot of the surrounding defenses to give her a much easier progression right into the Town Hall, a little bit safer through with more health available.
Yeah, the Town Hall, there's the Skeleton Trap, but the Skeleton Trap should not attack this Queen, so the Queen is not going to switch the target. Meanwhile, the King at the top side took down the Eagle and the defending Royal Champion, so he has now the pathing through the core. Like, we see a lot of players trying to create this typical L shape, but now Yo-Yo is just like, no, I would just power everything through the core. I don't care about this classic L shape. I do it my own way. So let's see how strong this is going to be. Starting things off with the Lava Hound and the Slammer from this bottom side, using a skeleton spell to actually make sure the Slammer is surviving a bit longer. But this Tornado Trap is messing things up a little bit, and the Slammer is taking more damage than intended. Yeah,
and that L-shaped path we often see, because particularly with these kind of bases where we have the multis in the core with a lot of open spaces, we see the traps coming in this way, and that's why you don't often want to path through it. But this means we have to use the Warden appropriately. We have to get that tank in, brings in the Stone Slammer, drops those freezes for the multi, but the Warden really going to be key, getting those loons safely across this path where we do expect to see a lot of air traps. And here we go, Headhunters right there into the mix to take on the defending AQ just at that same time.
But the multi-inferno tower, everything is skipping that multi-inferno tower in the core, but the Royal Champion now is coming in with that Lava Hound, though still alive. He's going to have some problems. The Warden, though, is he dead? No, he's not. He's not taking out the multi from the tower. I was already wondering if this is going to happen. But everything in the core is low. Like the X-Bow getting bounced out. Getting bounced completely. Wait a second, where's the invisibility spot? The top left, getting this Arch Tower now out of the way as well.
Yeah, so he has these invisibility spells, gets the loons right through, wants to get a little bit further inside this base. Royal Champion finally takes down the Hound, but we don't have a lot of time left over. 33 seconds with the minion spread trying to take on a storage. This is a really tough spot for Yo-Yo. It is the win regardless, but I think the perfection is what they wanted to try and go for in this first attack, coming in, proving that they just had an off day and nothing more than that. But final invisibility drop just to give a little bit more life to the Royal Champion. We just know there's not going to be enough time left to get through this one, especially with the defending BK up.
Yeah, and this means it's going to be only 14 stars. No, just kidding. It's this really, really impressive performance, but in the end, it's going to be the 14-star victory.
Of the final attack, and this one is coming in from Mock. And we've got the Queen Charge. We've got the Queen Charge Lalo here coming through, but we've got like so many spells in this combination.
Yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting you there, but like, what is going on? We have a Golem, we have a Bowler, which is most likely going to use for funneling. We have a skeleton spell, Earthquake as well. So a lot of things in this army composition which can be used in many different ways. Maybe the Earthquake to activate the Town Hall for the Flameflinger, because that's the siege which he has selected right now. But he needs to be careful. We all know how strange the Flameflinger sometimes can be, with pathing around buildings and maybe skipping the one or other building. But now the Queen is walking around this Town Hall, and he needs to activate that soon, which is that means more damage on the Queen, and needs to be careful with his healers.
Yeah, those healers are going to be the biggest problem for it, depending on the pathing that we have coming across. We can see the radius to see exactly where they're going to skirt by. Looks like they're going to be in a safe spot, as a Flameflinger will now have the opportunity to take down that Town Hall. Of course, the Quake that you mentioned to activate it is a necessary function if you're going to come in with a strategy with this approach. Drops in a wall break just to ensure that we get this perfect Queen pathing straight through into the scattershot compartment here, and she's already off to a nice raring start.
Wow, the Queen charging in. There's the next rage to keep her alive. The King now with the Royal Champion, with the Golem, with the Warden, everything pushing in. Even the Headhunter is in place to make sure this push is looking strong. And now is the next wall break going to go for the... No, there's the next wall break going for the gold storage to make sure that the push is even further into the base. We have seen, oh wait a second, a lot of red bombs are coming up, and those healers are gone.
Oof, healers done and down for the count, but we do have the Queen still trying to power along. Drops that invisibility spell so he can at least take down this multi in the core of the base, keep the pathing moving perfectly, and we still have the loons to come in for some back-end support as the King and Royal Champion still power along together.
This is just looking crazy. The next freeze is coming in. The air defense are taken down at the top side. At this point, the Flameflinger opened to unleash another Dragon Rider into the back end, and this is going to be a 3-star. We have seen so many cool attacks in this match already. This attack was just crazy. The idea with the Golem to power up the King, power up the push, and the Earthquake with the Flameflinger, knowing the range of his healers, that was just perfection. Really nicely done. J.X.Tiger finishing off strong as well in this match with another 3-star. But the finish, the star count is fixed. We're going to have the first winners of match number 1, which is the 2020 World Champion Alternate, winning with 14-12.